What's up everybody, welcome back to Xander Develops. My name is Xander, and in today's video we're going to continue with our Unity game development tutorial. And in today's video we're going to be working on the balloon movements. So we're going to make our balloon go to the left towards the player, and also we're going to work on the balloon spawner. So without further ado, let's get right into this tutorial. The first thing we're going to do is create a new script which is going to be called balloon, because this is the balloon script. So it's created, let's get right into it. So now that we are in the script, I'm going to delete these comments real quick. So the first thing we're gonna do is create a rigid body to reference our balloon's rigid body. So we're gonna say rigid body to the RB. We're gonna name it RB. So we're gonna say RB equals get component rigid body to the. And now we're also going to create a variable, a float variable, which is a float and a vector 2, which is going to be called movement. And our float is going to be called speed. And we're going to say speed equals, let's say 5f. So now in the update method, we're going to create another vector 2, which is going to be called the move input, which is going to be equal to our new vector. It's going to create a vector. This will be the direction, the angle of the movement of the balloon, which is going to be to the left. So it's -5 and 0. We don't want it to move in the y-axis. And now we're going to reference our vector 2 variable, which is movement. We're going to say that movement equals move input dot normalize times our speed. And finally we're going to apply the movement to our rigid body. So we're going to say RB dot move position, RB dot position plus our movement times time dot fixed delta, there you go, semicolon here. And finally we want to destroy our balloon once it reaches the end of our screen. So we're gonna say destroy this game object. So we say game object once it reaches, let's say 10 seconds. There you go. So now we save this, and back in Unity we're going to create another empty object, which is going to be our balloon. So we're gonna add a component which is going to be a sprite renderer, and in here we're gonna choose the circle, the knob right here, and let's make it bigger. Let's make it like 10 times bigger. And this is our balloon, so let's move it a bit to the right. And we're going to apply our script to the object, and let's also change the name to balloon. And now if we go ahead and click play, as you will see, we can, oh, I forgot to attach the rigid body. To add the rigid body, so we're going to do rigid body to the here. Let's move it upwards. There you go, and the gravity is 0. Okay, so now if we go ahead and click play, as you will see, and there you go. So we should be able to shoot, but of course we haven't added the collider yet, collision. So yeah. So now let's work on the spawner. To do this, we're going to create an empty object, and we're gonna rename it to spawner. I am going to add a sprite renderer so I can see it. Get way bigger. So here's our spawner. So let's create another script which is gonna be called spawner. So here in our spawner script, the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and create a balloon array. So we're gonna type in game object array, and we're gonna call it balloons. We're also going to create a float variable, which is going to determine the spawn time. We're gonna and we're gonna make it equal 2 seconds. Let's make it public in case we want to change it in the inspector, so we're gonna type in public. We're also gonna make this array public. And finally, we also want to create another variable which is going to reference the screen. So we're gonna say vector2 equals screen bounds. Now in the start method, we're gonna say screen bounds equals the main camera, so it would be camera dot main dot screen to world point new vector2, vector 3. Another parentheses would be screen dot width screen height this should be caps, and finally the camera dot main dot transform dot position dot z. Now we want to create another, we don't need the update function, so we're gonna change it to balloon spawner, and we're going to create an int variable which is going to be the random balloon. Since we're gonna have more than one balloon, this is going to be equal 0 balloons dot length, which is the array. I want to create an instance of each balloon, so we say game object, let's name it A, equals instantiate balloon spawner as game object. And now we're going to transform the position of the instance of the game object, so we say a dot transform dot position equals new vector2 screen bounds dot x. We'll say times 2 because we want it a bit more to the right once it spawns. So random dot range screen dot y and screen bounds, and there you go. And finally, we wanted to wait for a couple of seconds, so we're going to create an enumerator. Also here, I didn't want to call the balloon spawner, I wanted to put the random balloon. Yeah. So here, balloons, say yield return. Wait 4 seconds. Respawn time. And in spawn time, which is this, the 2 seconds. And finally, we want to call our function balloon spawner. We're going to make this while this is true. Do this. Now if we save this and we go back to Unity, we wait for it to load. There are a few errors. There are a few mistakes here. Should be vector 3. And also here random range should be caps. Same here. And this is not caps. And as a final step, I forgot, I must, in the start method, we must start recording. So we say start, we call the last function, which is balloons, and there you go. So now if we save this and we go into Unity, so now we select the spawner, and in the inspector we can drag our balloon into our spawner script. And if we go ahead and click play, so you can see there's the first balloon, and here's the second balloon, and every 2 seconds a new balloon will be spawned. So yeah, this was all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys in the next video.